Myself, my name is José Barbosa. I have been working with health and HealthTech the last 3.5 years. Before that, I used to work with mobility, all this time in Brazil, and with Swedish company, with help the Swedish company here. I would like to have it, Thomas Wiklund. He's a CEO at Dandara Holding Venture. I'd like him to introduce yourself, introduce yourselves, and make some considerations, short considerations. So we start.
Okay. I'm Thomas Wiklund. I work with medium and small size companies for 30 years now. And during the last 8 to 10 years, I've been focusing more and more on what's basically called impact investments. That has many varieties of what you actually want to see in that in that impact. I've chosen to be quite harsh, and I want really to see the society moving forward. And by doing that, I am focusing on digitizing healthcare, some environmental issues, companies, and I actually have a company that helps push or protect the democracy, and try to push away trolls and hate from internet and chat pages and so on. So that's what I'm doing. And really hoping that this will push society in a better towards a better place, really.
Thank you, Thomas. Ms. Marianne Larsson, please.
Yes, hello. Sorry?
It's yours now.
Thank you very much for having me. So I'm passionate about innovation and technology. And during the last 7 years, I've been promoting the growth of innovative startups from the Nordics that are doing impact on society in the health area, but we also do in other societal issues. But I'm primarily focusing on health tech. And 3 years ago, together with other Nordic partners, we founded HealthTech Nordic with currently 200 members, 60% of which are already available internationally in the marketplace.
Thank you. Tuva Jetsmark, is right? Is right?
It's right. Hello, everybody. I have my background in healthcare. I'm a doctor by training. I'm a specialist in internal medicine, and I've been a hospital manager for a couple of years. And 5 years ago, I started to work on digital health and innovation. So I'm working at Ramsay Santé. It's the second largest private healthcare provider in Europe. So I lead an innovation hub with the focus of disruptive healthcare innovations. And that means today a lot of digitalization, but also data-driven care for the future. So that's my focus area for now.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, all of you, to have given me the opportunity to talk with you. I would like to start with an overview of the Swedish experience with the pandemic and the decisions making from the Swedish government. The question is, in the view of each of you, what are the main reasons for Sweden to choose the path in the pandemic, and what positive difference did you make for business and the economy? We start with Thomas.
Well, I think that the Swedish people on a whole is Our society is very based on trust. We trust the government, we trust the experts. If they say something, that's the way it is, and we follow those advices. I think that in the way the policymakers in Sweden, they have very much listened to the experts and follow their advice, even though they have had they've been taking some measures that have led to that they are showing their strength as a leader, and maybe not the right way or the way that the experts have pointed out. But still, it very much falls down for me as a big thing is trust in each other and in the government, and for the business as on the big scale, you could now start seeing that the way Sweden has gone in compared to other countries, and I have a brother in living in London, and with the lockdown of complete whole countries compared to the Swedish way of social distancing and so on, you can now see that the GDP numbers for the second quarter has come up, and Sweden had a minus 8%, I think. The other Nordic countries are something around 10 to 12, and the UK is minus 20. So it will be interesting to see in the coming year and see how and what path was the best. And I believe, of course, since I trust the Swedish government, that the Swedish way will eventually turn out to be probably the best one.
Thank you. Marianne Larsson, please.
Yeah, I totally agree with Thomas here. But I would like to add that maybe, I don't know the image that you get from Sweden. Despite whatever image, I would like to stress that people are very cautious. So in practice, we've had a lockdown too, since the outburst in the Stockholm region in February, March. That was when it all kicked off. So people in Sweden at the age of 70 and above haven't met their loved ones since mid-April, I would say. Loads of companies have closed down, despite heavy and generous government support, I would say. Unemployment is rising dramatically, but GDP, as Thomas says, is coming down by 8%. So, and we're in the, hopefully, at least in the middle of this crisis, and we don't know what will come out of the strategy. It's difficult, and trust is really the key here. And people believe in the authorities, and the authorities believe in people. So it's a mutual trust here that we build it on, and people take their own decisions, but they're pretty much locked down. You can see we're all at home. Maybe Thomas is in the office,
but I'm here all alone.
You're there all alone, yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Marianne. Tuva?
Well, tends to be a quite boring panel because I have the same theme as Thomas and Marianne. I think the high trust in authorities is the key, but we also trust each other, and it's kind of a social controlling environment as well, because you're actually looking out for neighbors and you are telling them, this is not the correct way of doing things, and please step away, you are a bit too close to me. And so there are a social controlling as well, but we depend on less rules and more on recommendations. And I would say that I hope, which I really believe, that after this pandemic, we will see maybe a better overall health situation, not only from a financial recovery perspective, but also I can see less social isolation than my colleagues in France, for example. I work European. So I can see that the total lockdown has actually has a big impact on psychological health, for example, and other things. So hopefully the Swedish pathway will actually show out to get faster financial recovery, but also from a health perspective. We have some dramatic figures right now compared to other countries, but in the long run, I really hope that this has been a good way of handling the situation. So a united panel this time for high trust. I would say that's the key word.
Answer very quickly Marianne's question about what image we have in Brazil. I believe we have in Brazil an image that all things was free and open here. I had it anyhow. So when I came to Malmö and see that you have a lot of clothes shops and clothes restaurants and times to go to restaurant between 11 and 2, and some people go with masks. So yeah. So it's quite different, the image, I believe, that the world got about how things was here in Sweden. Okay, the next question. In very time of crisis, we are having to rediscover ourselves. We have to reinvent ourselves. In this specific pandemic, the mindset of ways of working and changes or expand that. New ways to do business and use video conference as we are doing here, expansion of delivery market, use of telemedicine, psychology, virtual care. New technologies and important health projects have been emerged. Possible legal change in the business environment. My question is, what did you notice about great change and new solutions in your business and your personal life? And this time change. So we start with Marianne.
All right. I would say that the crisis has been the perfect storm for implementing digital tools. And I will call it HealthTech from now on, where the immediate rollout across the Nordics of video visits, for instance, where legal or the government in Norway, they changed the reimbursement rules. And in 10 days, the primary care doctors went from 10% being able to offer digital visits to 90% in 10 days. So government changed the rules, and that was pretty early on here. And then we saw the next thing was the adoption of remote monitoring of chronics with a company that Thomas is heavily engaged in. Cross-technology solutions with LivePod. So remote monitoring of chronics in combination with advanced decision-making tools for profession, where you can identify patients with the greatest needs. And that's what LivePod is doing. And that has been widely adopted where I live, and it's increasing. And that means that health improves and hospitalization is reduced by 50%. So a perfect storm for implementing these tools. People can take better care of themselves with better tools, better data, and profession can do things when necessary instead of based on calendar bookings. So real-time information and tools that are readily, scalable, so they're affordable. These goes in volume and accessibility that is tremendous. The third thing we saw was the increase in mental health issues, where apps with cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, for depression, insomnia, and things like that are increasing heavily. And also helps profession attend to young adults, for instance, with increasing mental health issues earlier, identifying them earlier. And now we're talking about the care backlog, which will benefit. So, a lot of procedures has been postponed, but digital tools, now it becomes evident that they can improve efficiency. And I've heard figures about an increase in number of visits to clinics by 30%, 33% per hour, quality visits. So Yeah, that was part of it. It might seem like solutions applicable to high income level societies, but it's not. It's scalable. It's tools that we use daily. Our many people have mobile phones, and this is the same thing. It's scalable volumes, comparably cheap.
Thank you very much. Tuva, and you can maybe put the difference between Sweden and France, and if you see something when you make your comment.
Yeah, I would say that, as Marianne said as well, we see the digital explosion coming here, both for monitoring chronic illness, but also having consultations of all kinds of doctors and nurses, consultations remote. The difference, well, I would say that when we had solutions already implemented, we could actually scale really fast. Where we had a mature, where the people working with us were mature and knowing about these solutions, it was really easy to scale them up. But we didn't manage to implement new tools during the pandemic when our people were working from home, and it was really difficult. So the mindset and the culture has changed a lot, and I would say doctors and nurses are now screaming for having these tools so that they can help their patients in new ways. But still, the uptake of it needs to be done in an environment with the infrastructure and competence already in place. So I would say that in the Nordics, it has been a bigger scale up than in France, where we didn't have so many systems implemented to begin with. But I think we will see that uptake coming also in the other countries we are in. A lot of governments have removed obstacles for digital transformation, and we believe that this will actually be kept this way after the pandemic as well, because everybody is agreeing that this is here to stay. So I'm positive for the future. When it comes to my more personal life, I would say it's a bit interesting that we are getting so highly digital, even if I was digital before, but I'm also I'm really more cautious and with the local environment. I really enjoy my neighbors. I really enjoy my local shops and the restaurant on the corner. So where I am in a physical local setting means more to me now than before the crisis. So I can see the world in my computer, but it's still nice to go down on the corner to have a good meal with someone. So yeah, it's
okay. Thank you very much. And Thomas, you may do the same comments, but maybe you can say something about sustainability, as you are, as you said, investing also in companies that cope with environment. How it affects the digital environment, if you have something to compare?
Well, first, not leaving the health care area, I believe that it has pushed the companies and the regions in Sweden to accept the technology and taking the next step with Cross, as Marianne told you. We have had a number of trials and studies going on for years and years, and suddenly when the pandemic hit Sweden, they realized that they're actually testing this system that is working, and they started an acute procurement, and we signed a contract within 3 weeks, and that's extremely fast compared to Swedish terms. But it has also highlighted a problem that in Sweden we're the law writing is behind many parts of Europe and especially United States. That's regarding how to handle technology in the cloud. and especially the Cloud Act from the US, where they can access Swedish or data from the clouds of the American companies. I know the Swedish government is working on a new solution and looking at this, but it's sad when we have a lawmaking process that isn't in line with the progress of the world. But we're getting there. When it comes to other areas, environment and so on, it's there's been of course an increase in interests in that area as well, and just having a session like this affects, of course, the way of doing business, which has a lot of been a big part of traveling, like Tova said, and instead we can as long as it's, I believe at least, that it will pick up, the traveling will pick up when we start doing businesses that again, and we need to have a stronger relationship with other people or new people that you meet. Just having an online meeting isn't giving you the full trust as I believe you need to have. But the traveling is of course one of the biggest issues when it comes to environment. The other company I'm working with is saving. They call themselves the shower of the future. They've had a big impact, of course, because the level of investments in new showers and especially in new buildings has stopped. It's slowly starting to pick up now again, but it's a natural way of looking at a crisis like this. You don't do any investment, so there's been a stop in that business area, I would say, but it's picking up again.
From my side and from the RIO 2020 side, I thank you very much for your time to be here and for your answers. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and good luck to all of you.
Yeah, the same to you. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.